Carter family, Carter gang. What it do, y'all? What it do, y'all? Man, I know y'all feeling bad after this tough loss, man. After this tough loss. I ain't gonna lie, right? I ain't gonna lie. I thought we was gonna pull this game out. And I've been watching a lot of lies and seeing a lot of reactions, and people feel like they didn't have no confidence in the defense that last drive. And y'all was right not to have confidence in the defense, but I thought the momentum, I thought that after that 2-point conversion, that 4th down conversion, after us coming back and taking the lead, I thought that would be the momentum enough and boost enough for the defense to at least make one play to get us off the field, man. For the defense to at least make one play to get us off the field, and they couldn't. Man, you feel me? But let's start with the good. I'm gonna start with the good, right? The good thing is the offense got hard. The offense got hard and they clutch. It became a point in the game in that 4th quarter where they said we wasn't gonna be stopped. I seen them lock in and be unstoppable when they had to. But it's hard to do that for 4 quarters, right? But I feel like this offense, we got another gear we could go to. I feel like the defense took a step back, but I think like the offense took a step forward, right? In the face of adversity, that's how you grow as a team and as a unit and say, hey, if we could be unstoppable when the pressure's on, we could be unstoppable in the 1st quarter too. So I think we might see a different monster on offense in the coming weeks. I feel like they done turned another corner to be elite. Next, Makai Lemon, he just the best wide receiver in the country. He the best wide receiver in the country. He the next great one up at wide receiver for USC, right? And then our quarterback, when it's time to man up, our quarterback is a man. Jaden Mayava is a man. He clutch, he poised, he don't get rattled. When the game on the line, he gonna make a play. And he gonna trust his receivers, and he gonna throw a good ball. That 4th down to Makai, and that touchdown he threw the last one was clutch. Beautiful balls, trusting his receiver and knowing better to go to the best receiver, right? And shout out Lincoln Riley for being able to keep Makai Lemon in one-on-one coverage. So I really love what the offense did, especially in the 2nd half, especially when it counted against the odds, right? Only thing with Mayava, I want to see him do better at the RPO decisions. It was 2 or 3 times where he made the wrong decision on the RPO. But besides that, I like what Mayava was doing. He did have 2 inaccurate passes that cost us a drive, right? Where we could have kept the chains moving, but we didn't. But besides that, Mayava played a good game. I like his heart. We got something at quarterback. We got something with this offense, and I feel like it's going to get better, right? Remember, we was down 2 offensive linemen, a left tackle and the center. We got a left tackle and the center, and Jacoby basically out there on one leg playing banged up. So overall, I'm gonna get an offense a B+, an A+ in that 4th quarter, right? Now to the bad though. Now to the bad. The defense let us down. And it was sad because it was basically 2 plays. They ran all game. They basically ran 2 plays all game. Run up the middle, right? Or slant through the middle in the air, right? It was run up the middle, a slant, or a post route. It was a video game. It was like a John Madden style of game plan, right? That's what you do in Madden. I'm finna run up the middle, and I'm finna throw slants all game, right? I'm finna run up the middle, try to get linebackers, try to make linebackers cover by throwing slants. Because the DBs be playing inside shade, giving up the inside. So the linebackers supposed to be there to take away the slant, right? So you rather be passing against linebackers, right? Instead of throwing down against DBs down the field, you know what I'm saying, through the middle of the field against safeties. You rather pass against linebackers. You rather make the linebackers a part of the coverage, right? So it was a simple game plan on offense. We gonna run up the middle and we gonna throw slant routes, right? And I told y'all my game preview, this game is gonna come down to if USC can dominate their offensive line in concert with the DBs not playing off bail coverage, right? And they did exactly the opposite of what I said. When I watched Illinois, the scouting report was easy. It was simple to me. it was simple to me. Stop the run, right? Pressure their offensive line, and not only pressure their offensive line, pressure that O-line with stunts, line shifts, and blitzes. Because their offensive line wasn't a physical problem. Their offensive line be having communication issues, and they struggle with the quick defensive linemen. Brett Bielema, he's known for having big, strong offensive linemen. Even down in Arkansas, all his offensive linemen be big and beefy, and they be strong, but they struggle with speed, rushes, stunts, and blitzes. We didn't do none of that. We didn't attack their weakness in the offensive line. And their weakness is dealing with blitzes, dealing with stunts. We didn't do that at all, which shocked me. Second, they shortened the rotation on the D-line, which was mind-boggling. What was Josh Jarrett? What was Kobe Pepe? What was the adjustments? They was trapping and double teaming our D-line all night. What was the linebackers? What was the linebacker blitzes, right? Plus, we was always outnumbered at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. We never committed to stopping the run. And Illinois did a good job with sprinkling in passes in there, so to keep Deanton Lynn not just focus on, okay, let me stop a run. They'll have enough pass plays to where Deanton Lynn was expecting they pass. But when we get to the point where we giving up both, we got to choose our poison. By the time the second half came around, and even the second quarter, we should have said, either you're going to beat us with the run or you're going to beat us with the pass. We can't try to cover up both when our defense ain't elite. We ain't elite right now. We ain't elite. There's no scheme or coverage we could call that we could successfully cover pass and run on the same down. Our front four wasn't ready yet, ain't ready yet, ain't that elite yet to do that just with a front four. Stop your run every play and pass protect and get your quarterback every play, especially when they double teaming and trapping on the run plays and the linebackers ain't filling the gap, right? So they started off double teaming and trapping our defensive line, but upon the second half, they already had war on them. They didn't even have to do that because they seen the linebackers wasn't even filling the gap anyway. See, when your D-line draw a double team, they did their job. The linebackers supposed to fill the gap. The linebackers wasn't filling the gap. So in result, we couldn't stop the run. We was outnumbered at the point of attack. We didn't use our big bodies enough. Josh Jarrett and Kobe Pepe. The linebackers wasn't feeling. It was no adjustments made. You either run a 4-3, put another linebacker out there, or put another nose tackle out there and run a 5-2. But we had to even up the numbers in the trenches, right? We had to put our defensive line in position to go one-on-one and go stunts and be able to use their speed. We didn't put them in position to be able to use their speed. We just let them use their power. And which is cool because they got a little power, but that gonna fall into the offensive line advantage when it's just a tug of war match. The offensive linemen, they gonna weigh more than the defensive line, and running on them is wearing on the D line more than it's wearing on the offensive line, right? So what happened was the D line was getting handled. Second, the linebackers supposed to step up. They wasn't able to step up. So then you either throw more D linemen or more linebackers and then just commit to stopping the run. I said this game, they need to commit to stopping the run and stop the short pass. I said, I'm willing to give up a couple big plays over top. I'm willing to give up 1 or 2 touchdowns over top. But if we stop in their run and putting pressure on the quarterback, them big plays is the only thing they gonna get. See, when you give up both, now they was able to get big plays and scores, right? They had drives where they scored big plays where it was 60-yard plays, 50-yard plays, right? They had 2 plays over 40 yards that was for touchdown. And then on top of that, they had long drives, right? The drive to win the game with the field goal, 10-play drive. They had a lot of long drives. So we was giving up long drives and big plays. We should have decided, hey, we're not giving up long drives. One, that's keeping our offense off the field and keeping our defense on the field, right? And then second, we gonna make you beat us with the big plays. We're not gonna let you play your game. It's another thing why you want to choose the big play, especially against Illinois and any Big Ten team. That's how they want to play anyway. They want to ground and pound. They want to play the type of game that they played. simple football, right? They don't rely on big, they want to wear you down. So no, you're not going to play your style of football and wear us down. If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us by doing something you're not used to doing, which is throwing for 5 touchdowns and 400 yards in the air. Think about it. They scored 34 points, right? That's like 5 or 6 scores. They had like 6 scores, adding the field goals. Now, if you only count the big plays and count them as points and take away all them long drives that we could have stopped if we would have committed to stopping the run and not letting their quarterback get time, that's only 14, 20 points. We would never know if this really on the players. We got the lack of talent if they wasn't put in every position to win, if they wasn't put in position to win. If we didn't try everything. I can see if we tried everything, if we start blitzing, if we start stunting, if we started shifting, if we rotated more, I could see if we threw the whole kitchen sink. But D'Anton Lynn never threw the whole kitchen sink. This is truly a game, and I think I said it in my last video. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't know if I said it. But this was truly a game where we should have been blitzing like 40% of the time. We should have had like 25, 30 blitzes for sure this game. For sure. Because the reason you don't blitz because you scared to give up a big play. Well, we wasn't blitzing and we still was giving up big plays anyway, so you might as well blitz. What's the point of protecting a big play? What's the point of protecting your pass coverage? Even when you try to do that, you still giving up big plays in the pass game. So you gotta pick your poison, because when you don't, you gonna give up everything. See, the problem with D'Anton Lynn is that he got that NFL state of mind, right? The bend but don't break type defense that gonna eventually make a play because the D line is great. But D'Anton Lynn, the way he called plays, not just his system, but the way he called plays, the D line has to be dominant with tackles for losses in the run game and the pass game, because he's going to give you the easy pass. He's going to give you the 5-yard out. He's going to give you the 10-yard slant. He's going to give you that. That's there in his defense. You could run slants and them short routes all day because he play off coverage. That gonna help you, and that will put some points on the board for you alone. Then you add, if the defensive line is not dominating, now you giving up run plays and the quarterback got time to pass the ball. So not only do they got a given open pass plays every game, you got a free 5 yards every time you drop back at minimum, and then your run game could get going too. And then your quarterback got all day to pass. It's a recipe for disaster. That's why Illinois scored 6 out of their 8 possessions. The only possessions they didn't score is when they had turnovers. I think we forced 1 punt, right? But D'Anton Lynn need to know it's a difference between college defenses versus college offenses and NFL defense versus NFL offense. Like I said, there's very few teams in the NFL, even the non-playoff teams, that you could run the same 2 plays on, or that you could just run the ball up the middle. There's no teams that you could just run on at ease. There's no NFL team that's going to really get blew off the ball every play like we was doing. There's no NFL teams that if the D-line is getting double teamed, the linebackers, they going to fill that gap. That's what they waiting for, right? So he's calling an NFL style game, an NFL play calling style game, and that don't work at college. Because everybody in the NFL is pro. Everybody in the NFL is star players, really. Like, everybody in the NFL is really stars. So in the NFL, his approach, you could work with that. Don't give up no big plays. Eventually, that D-line gonna eat. It gonna get a sack, force a punt. It gonna get a tackle for loss, get you behind the sticks. Bending, sack. Now you in position 3rd and long. Bending, giving up the easy tackle for loss. Now we in position. We could dial up blitzes. You behind the sticks. He run a style of defense that gonna give you the easy play, but along that course of them easy plays, every 4 or 5 plays, you gonna get put behind the stick, right? And then when you get put behind the stick, 3rd and long, now they can pin their ears back. Them pass rushers could do what they do, right? But if they stand in front of the sticks, the anti-land defense can't do nothing. It's gonna break. It's gonna break. In college, it's gonna break. You know what I'm saying? It's going to break. So he got to change his style of play calling. He got to be more aggressive. First of all, college players ain't NFL sound, so they gonna miss assignments. You gonna give up some plays just off missed assignments, right? And everybody in college ain't a star like the NFL. So like I said, Lynn problems, he got the NFL state of mind. I know the NFL's getting more similar to college, but the talent level is different. So the higher the talent level, the less coaching you really got to do. Anybody who in the coaching know that. You coach some kids or some high school players, it's less coaching you got to do with the high school players. It's less coaching you got to do with talented players, right? College, it take more coaching, more adjusting. Oh, they running it down our throat and consistently. Let me make an adjustment. Know what I'm saying? So Lynn, he got to change his approach to the game. He got to get rid of that NFL style play calling, that bend but don't break, because we're going to break if the defensive line is not dominating, and the defensive line ain't gonna dominate if the other team game plan is to protect their quarterback, run max pro, and run straight ahead, right? It ain't gonna dominate when, just like I said, I knew this was gonna be a tough game for us to get sacks, because Illinois, they identified, okay, that's our problem. We gotta protect this quarterback and run the ball. They was focused on that. So Illinois came into the game and said, you're not gonna harass our quarterback, right? You're not gonna, and this is what we gonna do about it. And we didn't have no counter for it. Our counter for it should have been a game plan to begin with. It made it easier for them. Look, Illinois came into the game thinking we was gonna be blitzing like Indiana, thinking we was gonna be running stunts. So they came into the game prepared for pressure. So imagine you preparing for pressure all week, and then you get up there and you facing a 4-man rush. It's gonna be easy. Right? And then they lighten the box when we run the ball. It was an easy game for Illinois, y'all. I know it didn't look like that. It was back and forth. It was close, but as far as coaching and play calling, it was simple for them. Run up the middle, throw them slants. Right? We didn't decide to take that away. You take away the slants, press coverage, or zone. Right? You take away the middle, nose tackle over that center, a linebacker blitzing up the middle, 7-8 man in the box. We didn't do none of that. So it worries me that we didn't look at the other options, the other ways to play defense. Too vanilla. But I ain't gonna keep y'all too long, man. I can talk about this all day, but this is on the defense. We gotta sell out to stop the run. We got to. Because we ain't at the point yet where we can stop the run and get pressure on the passer consistently without being creative, without running no stunts, without running no blitzes. It ain't gonna happen, so we need to adjust. So we gonna see, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Until then, I'm gone.